Up next, I'd like to welcome somebody very special to the stage, my husband, Tony.
Hello, how you doing? You're enjoying your food and your drinks? Thank you to the Stamford Diner for having us. They're so great. They're such great supporters. So that was my lovely and very talented wife, Vicki. Yeah, let's hear it up for Vicki. I knew you were a little confused because like Vicki Sanches and this white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes comes out. Well, mystery solved. I'm her husband. Here we go. Yeah. She does have a little Puerto Rican in her every now and then, but we're not going to talk about it in this at this venue. So a little bit more about myself. Again, my name is Tony Sanches. I live here in Stamford, happily married. I have 3 children that I know of. And I gotta tell you, I get nervous when the doorbell rings on Father's Day. I tell my family, don't answer the door. Look before you open that door. If they look like they share my gene pool, do not open that door. Vicki hates that joke. My girlfriend thinks it's funny. But no, I'm not a player. I've always been very practical when it comes to the matter of love. When I was in college, I played the drums, and my ideal girlfriend was a woman who could carry my drum equipment and take me to and from gigs. So when I went to the bars, chatting up the ladies, my rap went something like this. Hey baby, you look pretty sturdy. You lift weights? Yeah? How much you lift? Hey, how'd you get here tonight? Oh, you drove. You have a car. A station wagon? I'm in love. Yeah, I dated Helga, who was an East German exchange student who was on the rugby team for a few months, but when her car crapped out, the relationship fizzled. So I don't know those of you who have Showtime or maybe have somebody's password to Showtime, but there's this new show called Yellow Jackets. I don't know, has anybody seen that show, Yellow Jackets? Oh man, this joke's gonna fall fast. Anyhow, it's about a girls' high school team, and they're flying in a private jet to the Nationals, right? And their plane crashes in the woods, right? But they survive. Some of them survive, but now they have to survive the winter in the woods. And they allude to the fact that these girls have to resort to cannibalism to survive. Whoa, some heavy stuff. And I'm sorry for those of you who are eating to bring this up. But it got me thinking. I said, you know, now when I fly on planes, just in case we crash, and I survive, and I have to eat my fellow passengers, I pack a bottle of barbecue sauce. Because, you know, that craft sweet and spicy makes everything taste good. So I'm glad to be standing in front of you. I actually had hip replacement surgery 6 weeks ago. So, you know, it's stand-up comedy. It's not sit-down comedy. So, and thankfully, they did not remove my funny bones. It's still in there. I'm still, you know, a little funny. I know, that's pretty cool. But before I went for my surgery, I went to physical therapy because I wanted to find out what exercises I need to do after the surgery. Turns out this guy, Mike, had the same exact surgery with the same surgeon a few months before. So I said, Mike, you know, how big is the scar from the surgery? Well, before I know it, his pants are down around his ankle. I'm like, whoa, you know, didn't need to see that. But what I saw, it was like 2 or 3 inches, and the scar was about 5 inches. So I got my surgery 2 days before the Winter Olympics started. So I watched all the Winter Olympics, you know, how exciting. I don't know if you guys saw it. I mean, honestly, the skiers going on these steep slopes, icy slopes at 80 miles an hour. You have figure skaters doing triple cow salls. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it sounds good. And then you have snowboarders. They're not just doing 360s. They're doing like 840s. I mean, in the air, right? I'm like, this is amazing. And then I see curling. Oh my God. Curling is essentially shuffleboards on ice. I mean, I don't know if you know about curling, but essentially it's like one team member, and I can't even use the term athletes because I'm going to just use team members. It's a stone, it's like a flat stone, and one team member kind of throws a stone down the ice alley, and then there's 2 other team members that have brushes, and they're trying to guide the stone to the target. I don't know who in the Olympic Committee is either getting sexual favors or monetary bribes. I can't believe they're allowing curling to still be an Olympic sport. So I'm pretty empathetic. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling really bad for a certain group out there. I'm really feeling bad about Southern racists, or for Southern racists. I mean, they've had a tough couple of years, 8 years of a black president. They've taken down Confederate statues and flags. And I just read, they reaffirmed that Harriet Tubman is gonna be the new face of the $20 bill. I mean, can it get any worse for them? I mean, think about it. They can't use the $5 bill because Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, is on the $5 bill. They can't use the $50 bill. You got Ulysses S. Grant. And now they can't use the $20 bill? So if you're a good old Southern boy going down to pick up some beef jerky and some chewing tobacco, you got a pocket full of singles and change. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Look, hey man, even Southern racists have electronic forms of payment. But I'm gonna tell you, they do not want to encourage immigrants to this country, so they don't use their Visa card. In fact, they prefer to harken back to the good old days of the plantation and use their MasterCard. I used to work for MasterCard, so that's pretty fucking funny. So, that's much to my dismay, my sister got her DNA tested. She sent it to Ancestry.com. And I'm really bummed because, well, first, I guess I'm not so bummed. I found out I'm 8% Scottish, which I guess really fills in the gap, explains my love of plaid and bagpipe music and haggis. The downside is that now they're going to be opening cold cases all around the country and wanting to talk to me. Not because I've done anything wrong, but essentially I've traveled a lot for business, stayed in a lot of hotels, and I'm very hairy. So I've left a trail of DNA every place I've been to. I can imagine the calls, you know, Mr. Sanches, this is the Chicago Police Department. Were you in Chicago in October of 1989? I don't know, why? Well, there was a murder scene and we have your DNA. Bring back your DNA to the crime scene. We're gonna need to talk to you. Like, holy cow, there's gonna be a lot of those. It's not gonna be good. So, a few weeks ago, I had my very first pedicure. Yep. You know, I figure I can't bend down to cut my toenails, and if somebody's willing to do it, by God, I'm willing to pay them. But my eyes have been open. I didn't realize what you ladies have. I thought you'd go to the place, they cut your toenails, they slap on some nail polish, you're done. But oh no, so much more. Guys, listen up here. You go, they soak your feet in nice warm water. You know, after cutting your toenails, they scrape the dead skin off your feet. Again, I'm sorry for those of you eating, especially those of you who had Parmesan cheese on your meal tonight. Yeah, sorry about that. But they scrape the dead skin off your feet, and then they massage your feet and your legs. I gotta tell you, as soon as I smell that lavender hibiscus shea butter moisturizer, I am so relaxed. You ladies really know how to live. Now, I know what you're thinking. It sounds a little feminine for a guy to go get his pedicure. But now I put on my Mets hat, I bring a 6-pack of Bud, and a Sports Illustrated, no questions asked. So, but now when I go to the pedicure place, I notice, I don't know if this is true in all places, a lot of the workers are Korean. And they don't speak very good English, so I said, I'm gonna take it upon myself to learn a little bit of Korean so I could better communicate with the workers. So I put on my Google Translation app, and the woman who's working on my feet keeps saying to the other woman, Il grabag ida. Let me check this out again, because I wanna be culturally appropriate. Sorry, young ball grathida. So the lady's saying young ball grathida to her friend, which translated into dragon feet. So I learned a little Korean myself and I said, tip un up, sir, which means no tip for you. So my wife and I feel like I could talk to you openly with you guys. We're having a little trouble in the bedroom. It's not what you think, it's actually the bed itself. So it seems like my side of the bed seems to have developed a little bit of a dip. Okay, it's more like a trench, okay? So now my wife, when she's on her side of the bed, looks down on me both figuratively and literally. Now, my wife has hinted that it could be that my weight is the problem, and I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to the folks at Sealy Posturepedic because I'm sure it's a defective mattress. It does create some issues for us, though. When my wife wants to cuddle, she doesn't want to come down to the trench. She wants me to come to her side of the bed. So when I got to get up to her side of the bed, I have to start on my side, I start going back and forth rocking because I need to develop some momentum, you know what I mean? I'm rocking back and forth and I shout, "I'm Vicky, I'm ready!" And then I kind of swing my leg over, she grabs my arm, she pulls me up. Sometimes I'm so exhausted by the time I get to her side of the bed, I don't even feel like cuddling anymore. And I know what you're thinking, Tony, just buy a new mattress, just get a new mattress. Nope. Not going to do it, not going to spend the money. I've got a better idea. When my wife's not around, I lay on her side of the bed and just roll back and forth. We're going to even that puppy. So I've been working out lately, cardio, some weights, because you don't get to look this good just sitting around eating chocolate mini donuts. Or maybe you do. But I've realized my six-pack abs have kind of morphed into a mini keg. I went and got my BMI index, my body mass index, and according to my BMI, I technically am obese. So I, along with 39% of the population, am obese. If I add in the people that are just overweight, now I'm in the majority. Honestly, being a person of color and being in the minority most of my life, I thought being in the majority would feel much better. It really doesn't. So instead of using the BMI, I have a new index. It's called the GEFS index. It stands for good enough for sex. So I try to stay in good enough shape so my wife still wants to sleep with me. So I used to live up in New Fairfield. I know a few people from New Fairfield. Yeah, let's hear for New Fairfield. That's pretty weak, but okay. So New Fairfield's an hour and a half to the closest airport, and I traveled a lot for business. So the car service would pick me up, and I was always fearful that I would miss the car. I'd sleep through my alarm, so I never had a good night's sleep the night before I was going to travel for business, right? So this particular morning, I get up. It's about 5:30, before dawn, and I look out the window. The limo's there. I'm like, okay, we're ready to go. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm real tired. I'm just going to take a quick nap in the limo on the way to the airport. So when I meet clients later that afternoon, I'm going to be in good shape. As I come out to the limo, I'm in my driveway, I notice there's a dead deer in my driveway. I'm like, holy shit, now I'm wide awake. So I knock on the driver's window. I said, excuse me, when you pulled the limo in, did you see this dead deer in the driveway? I thought I hit something back on 39, so maybe I hit a deer. 39? That's 5 miles away. Do you mean to tell me you hit a deer and dragged that deer to my driveway? Cars were flashing their lights at me trying to tell me something. Yeah. Okay, look, my kids are going to be on this bus stop, and out on the driveway for the bus stop in 2 hours, and if they see Bambi like this, it's going to mess them up. You got to help me. So the driver gets out of the car, he comes around, but when he sees the deer, he starts to gag. Because it's not like a deer anymore, it's half deer, half blood and fur. It's nasty, right? So I'm thinking, well, this guy still needs to drive me to the airport. So I say, you know what? Go back into the car, I'll take care of this. And I start to think about the wedding vows, in good times and in bad. I figure this applies. So I go back into the house. My wife's sleeping. I go into the bedroom. I shake her awake. I say, honey, sweetie, Vicky, listen, we've got a problem. There's a dead deer in the driveway. She opens one eye. She kind of looks at me and says, no, we don't have a problem. You have a problem. It's true. So I'm like, all right, I got this. I've seen enough episodes of The Sopranos. And anyone who's been married for some time has given thought to what it takes to dispose of a body. So I go in my garage, I get my gloves on, I get the rope, and now you gotta understand, I've got a Brooks Brothers suit, I've got a nice shirt and tie, I've got my Johnson Murphy shoes, and now I'm hauling this dead deer carcass 200 feet down my driveway into the woods across the street. very traumatic experience. So I come out of the woods, and I'm really impressed because I see my wife now. She's at the end of the driveway. She's in her bathrobe. She's got a cup of tea, and she's using the hose to spray off whatever's left on the driveway. And at first, I'm excited because she's come to help me with my problem. And then I realize she's really calm, as if she too has thought about what it takes to dispose of a dead body. Now I can't sleep at all, especially when my wife's mad at me. Listen, that's my time. I'm Tony Sanches. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, don't worry too much about Tony. Every year this time he gets a little taste of the Irish.